Aliens laughed at our shooting, until they saw the real target Part 1, First Contact and Mockery. The story opens aboard the human exploration vessel UES Horizon, commanded by Captain Jake Morrison. The ship encounters the Zephyrian fleet while conducting routine deep space mining operations near asteroid belt Sigma 7. The Zephyrians, a technologically advanced species with crystalline exoskeletons and superior weaponry, immediately assume dominance over the primitive humans. Commander Vera Santos, the ship's tactical officer, attempts diplomatic contact but is met with condescending laughter from the Zephyrian Admiral Kethvor. The aliens demand the humans demonstrate their pathetic weapons capabilities as entertainment before they decide humanity's fate. Lieutenant Danny Brooks reluctantly complies, firing the ship's basic plasma cannons at a small asteroid. The shots appear wildly inaccurate, missing the target by hundreds of meters. The Zephyrian crew erupts in mocking laughter, recording the display to share across their empire as evidence of human incompetence. What the aliens don't realize is that Chief Engineer Lisa Carter has been carefully calculating trajectory patterns, while Dr. Sam Rodriguez analyzes the asteroid composition through their missed shots. Part 2. The deception deepens. The Zephyrians, thoroughly amused by human incompetence, decide to toy with their new subjects rather than immediately destroy them. They broadcast the embarrassing footage across their communication networks, turning humanity into a galactic laughingstock. Admiral Kethvor assigns his subordinate, Captain Nexentar, to oversee the humans as they continue their mining operations under Zephyrian supervision. The aliens treat it as a comedy show, watching humans fail at basic marksmanship while attempting to extract resources from nearby asteroids. Meanwhile, Captain Morrison secretly coordinates with his crew. Navigation Officer Ryan Kim begins plotting complex orbital mechanics, while communications specialist Helen Wright establishes covert channels with other human colonies in the sector. Each missed shot is actually part of an intricate plan. Security Chief Ben Parker maintains the facade by ordering increasingly frustrated target practice sessions, with Gunner Pete Collins appearing to grow more incompetent with each attempt. The Zephyrians find this hilarious, never suspecting that every errant shot is precisely calculated. Part 3. The hidden patterns. Days pass. More Zephyrian ships arrive to witness the spectacle of human ineptitude. They establish a perimeter around the asteroid field, confident in their superiority. The alien crews bet on how badly humans will miss their next shots, treating it like a sporting event. Dr. Rodriguez makes a crucial discovery about the asteroid belt's unique mineral composition, particularly high concentrations of unstable quantum crystals that react to specific energy frequencies. He shares this information with Engineer Carter, who realizes they can weaponize the entire asteroid field. Tactical Officer Santos begins coordinating with other human vessels that have quietly moved into position throughout the sector. Using the Zephyrians' own communication frequencies, she sends coded messages disguised as frustrated military reports about incompetent crews. The aliens remain oblivious as weapons specialist Tony Garcia continues the charade, each missed shot actually charging quantum crystals throughout the massive asteroid field. The Zephyrians mock the humans' apparent inability to hit anything smaller than a planet, never noticing the subtle energy buildup occurring around them. Part 4. The Trap Springs. The moment of revelation arrives when Admiral Kethvor decides to end the entertainment and demand Earth's surrender. He broadcasts an ultimatum across human space, using the embarrassing footage as proof that resistance is futile. Captain Morrison requests one final demonstration, claiming his crew wants to prove they're not completely hopeless before surrendering. The Zephyrians eagerly agree, positioning their entire fleet in perfect observation formation throughout the asteroid field. As the aliens watch expectantly, Lieutenant Brooks takes aim at a distant asteroid and fires. Once again, the shot appears to miss completely. The Zephyrians begin their familiar mocking laughter, but it quickly dies as they notice something unprecedented. The quantum crystals throughout the entire asteroid belt begin resonating in perfect harmony. Dr. Rodriguez's calculations prove correct as the accumulated energy from hundreds of missed shots creates a massive chain reaction. Navigation Officer Kim's orbital mechanics ensure the Zephyrian fleet is perfectly positioned within the expanding energy field. Part 5. Humanity's true. Aim. The revelation hits the aliens like a cosmic sledgehammer. They weren't watching target practice. They were witnessing the setup for the largest precision weapon ever deployed. The entire asteroid field transforms into a synchronized energy matrix, with quantum crystal resonance creating controlled gravitational anomalies. Engineer Carter activates the final sequence, turning the accumulated energy into a massive gravity well that traps the Zephyrian fleet. Their superior technology becomes useless as they're pulled into predetermined positions by carefully orchestrated gravitational fields. Admiral Keithvor realizes too late that humans never missed their targets. Every shot was precisely aimed at quantum crystals to create this moment. The incompetent species had turned an entire asteroid belt into a weapon, using nothing but patience, planning, and apparent failure. Captain Morrison opens communications with the trapped alien fleet. He calmly explains that the demonstration was never about hitting small asteroids. The target was always the Zephyrian fleet itself. Humanity's poor marksmanship was actually the most sophisticated long-range tactical planning the galaxy had ever witnessed. The story concludes with the Zephyrians forced to negotiate as equals, their preconceptions about human capability completely shattered. Communications specialist Wright broadcasts the truth across the galaxy. Sometimes the best way to hit your target is to let your enemy think you're aiming somewhere else entirely. The final scene shows other alien species reconsidering their assumptions about humanity, realizing that a species clever enough to turn perceived weakness into devastating strength might not be as primitive as they appear. Theme: the story explores how assumptions and prejudices can blind even advanced civilizations to the true capabilities of others, while showcasing humanity's greatest strengths: patience, creativity, and the ability to think several steps ahead. Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the UES Horizon, watching the asteroid field through the main screen. The mining operation had been going well for 3 weeks now, and the crew was in good spirits. The ship hummed quietly as it moved between the floating rocks looking for valuable minerals. Lisa Carter worked in the engine room making sure everything ran smoothly while Dr. Sam Rodriguez analyzed samples in his lab. Danny Brooks sat at the weapons station, checking the plasma cannons for the daily maintenance routine. The guns were old but reliable and had served them well during their long journey from Earth. Vera Santos monitored the communication channels from her tactical station, always listening for any signs of trouble. In this remote part of space, Ryan Kim plotted their course through the asteroid field using his navigation computer. The rocks here were rich in rare metals that Earth needed badly, and the mining operation was one of the most successful in recent years. Helen Wright managed the communication systems, keeping them connected to the other human ships in the sector. Everything changed when the sensors picked up massive energy signatures approaching from the outer system. The readings were unlike anything they had seen before, and the ships that appeared were clearly not human in design. The vessels looked like they were made of crystal and metal, combined in ways that seemed impossible to human engineering. Jake felt his heart race as 12 alien ships surrounded the asteroid field. Each one was 3 times larger than the horizon and bristled with weapons that glowed with strange energy. The aliens had appeared without warning, and now the human mining ship was trapped with nowhere to run. Vera tried to establish contact using standard first contact protocols. She sent mathematical sequences and peaceful greetings in multiple languages, but received only silence in return. The alien ships moved into formation around them with precision that showed advanced technology and military training. Then the main screen filled with the image of something that was clearly not human. The creature had a body that looked like living crystal with multiple arms and eyes that glowed with inner light. When it spoke, the voice came through their speakers with perfect English that sounded cold and mechanical. Admiral Keithvor introduced himself as the commander of the Zephyrian exploration fleet. He looked at the humans on his screen with what could only be described as amused contempt. The alien explained that they had been watching human expansion into space for some time and found it entertaining how primitive the species was compared to their own advanced civilization. Jake tried to respond diplomatically, explaining that they were peaceful miners who meant no harm to anyone. The alien admiral laughed at this, and the sound was like breaking glass mixed with wind chimes. Keithvor said that humans were so backward, they probably could not even use their weapons properly. The other alien crew members visible on the screen began making sounds that were clearly laughter. They pointed at the human bridge crew and made gestures that needed no translation. The Zephyrians found the very idea of human technology amusing and wanted to see just how pathetic their weapons really were. Kethvor demanded that the humans demonstrate their fighting ability by shooting at one of the smaller asteroids nearby. He wanted to see their primitive weapons in action before deciding what to do with them. The alien made it clear that this was not a request but an order, and failure to comply would result in the destruction of their ship. Jake looked around his bridge at his crew. They were good people who had families back on Earth and did not deserve to die because some advanced aliens thought humans were amusing. He nodded to Danny, who reluctantly powered up the plasma cannons and selected a small asteroid about 500 meters away. Lisa watched the power readings from the engine room and made sure the weapons had enough energy to fire properly. The plasma cannons were not designed for precision shooting, but they could destroy large targets when needed. Dr. Rodriguez monitored the asteroid composition through his sensors while pretending to look nervous about the situation. Danny aimed the cannons at the asteroid and fired 2 quick bursts. The bright energy beams shot out from the horizon but seemed to miss the target completely. One shot went high and to the left while the other went low and to the right. Both energy blasts disappeared into space without hitting anything important. The alien bridge erupted in laughter that was even louder than before. Kethvor could barely contain his amusement as he watched the human weapons completely fail to hit a stationary target. The other Zephyrians made comments in their own language that sounded like mockery and disbelief. The alien admiral began recording the demonstration, saying he wanted to share this moment with the rest of his fleet. He called the human shooting skills pathetic and wondered how such an incompetent species had ever managed to leave their home planet. The Zephyrians seemed to find the whole situation incredibly entertaining. Jake ordered Danny to try again, hoping they could at least hit something to avoid further humiliation. Danny fired 3 more shots at different asteroids, but each one missed by even wider margins than before. The plasma beams went in completely wrong directions, as if the targeting system was broken or the gunner had never used the weapons before. The aliens were now laughing so hard that some of them had trouble standing up straight. They began taking bets on whether the humans could hit anything at all, even if they tried all day. Kethvor announced that he had never seen such poor marksmanship in all his years of military service. What the Zephyrians did not know was that every missed shot was carefully calculated. Lisa had been running complex equations through her engineering computer, while Dr. Rodriguez analyzed the mineral composition of each asteroid they targeted. Ryan worked on trajectory calculations that took into account the gravitational fields and orbital mechanics of the entire asteroid belt. Vera sent coded signals to other human ships in the sector using communication frequencies that looked like routine maintenance reports. Ben Parker coordinated with his security team to maintain the appearance of frustrated incompetence, while Pete Collins helped Danny make the missed shots look convincing. The alien fleet settled into a comfortable formation around the asteroid field. They were clearly planning to stay and watch the entertaining humans for a while longer. Kethvor announced that he wanted to see more demonstrations of human shooting skills before deciding whether to destroy them quickly or keep them as amusing pets. Jake looked at his crew and saw the determination in their eyes. They all understood what needed to be done and were ready to play their parts in the deception. The aliens thought they were watching a comedy show, but they were actually witnessing the setup for something much more serious. The morning after the first shooting demonstration, Admiral Kethvor could not stop watching the recorded footage of human weapons fire. He played the video 17 times while his bridge crew gathered around to laugh at the impossible way human plasma beams seemed to actively avoid their targets. The alien commander immediately sent copies to every ship in the Zephyrian fleet, with messages describing the amazing discovery of the most incompetent warriors in galactic history. Within hours, 3 more Zephyrian warships arrived at the asteroid field, led by Captain Nexitar, who had traveled halfway across the sector to witness the legendary human marksmanship failure firsthand. The crystalline vessels took positions around the mining area, while their crews prepared viewing equipment and recording devices to capture more moments of primitive human confusion. Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the horizon, watching the alien ships position themselves like spectators at an entertainment venue. He maintained his role as the frustrated human commander, who could not understand why his crew kept missing simple targets. The performance required careful balance between appearing genuinely confused and secretly coordinating with his team for the next phase of their deception. Captain Nextar established direct communication with the human ship and announced that he would personally oversee their continued mining operations. The alien officer spoke with the tone of someone addressing amusing pets rather than fellow intelligent beings. He explained that the Zephyrians found human activities so entertaining that they planned to stay and observe for an extended period. The alien crews began organizing betting pools on human performance during daily weapons practice sessions. They wagered credits on how far each plasma shot would miss its intended target, and whether the humans might accidentally shoot themselves or damage their own ship during training exercises. Some Zephyrian officers offered special odds on whether human weapons might explode during operation. Dr. Sam Rodriguez continued his analysis of asteroid mineral samples while pretending to be nervous about the alien presence surrounding their ship. His laboratory equipment scanned quantum crystal formations with increasing detail, but he made sure to appear confused and overwhelmed whenever alien observers checked on his scientific work. The Zephyrians found human research methods almost as amusing as their marksmanship abilities. Lisa Carter worked in the engineering section running complex mathematical calculations that appeared to be routine power management for mining equipment. Her computer-processed equations involving energy distribution patterns across three-dimensional space, but the watching aliens saw only a primitive engineer struggling to maintain old machinery that barely functioned properly. The Zephyrian Entertainment Network discovered the human footage and began broadcasting shooting demonstrations across their communication channels. Alien families throughout the Empire gathered around viewing screens to watch the latest episodes of Human Incompetence, while making jokes about primitive species who had somehow managed to travel between stars despite being unable to hit stationary objects. Danny Brooks perfected his performance as the confused gunner whose accuracy seemed to decrease rather than improve with each practice session. He fired plasma cannons at progressively larger targets while missing by increasingly ridiculous distances that made alien observers question whether humans understood basic concepts like aiming or trajectory calculation. Helen Wright maintained communication networks with other human vessels throughout the sector, while monitoring alien transmissions for useful intelligence about fleet movements and tactical capabilities. Her coded messages appeared to be routine, status reports about crew morale and equipment maintenance, but actually coordinated the careful positioning of human ships around the asteroid field. The quantum crystal formation scattered throughout the asteroid belt continued absorbing energy from each missed plasma shot, while remaining invisible to alien sensor sweeps. Lisa detected the phenomenon through subtle changes in electromagnetic background radiation, but the Zephyrians registered nothing unusual despite their advanced scanning technology. Ben Parker organized security training exercises that looked like desperate attempts to improve human military performance through better coordination and communication procedures. His drills involved precise timing between crew members and careful positioning that appeared to be standard military practice, but actually served as rehearsal for something far more sophisticated. Pete Collins assisted Danny with weapons maintenance while playing his role as another confused human who could not comprehend why their plasma cannons consistently failed to hit anything they aimed at. Together they created spectacular missed shots that had alien observers gasping with laughter and amazement at the impossible trajectories. The asteroid field became a popular destination for alien military officers seeking entertainment during their deep space patrols. Representatives from the Korlaxi Trade Federation and Axion Collective arrived to witness the famous human shooting, demonstrations that had become legendary throughout multiple star systems for their consistent failure and amusing results. Ryan Kim updated his navigation charts with orbital mechanics data that seemed to be routine course plotting for mining operations, but actually involved gravitational field mapping for every significant mass in the asteroid belt. His calculations would be crucial for predicting the movement of energy and matter when the time came to reveal their true capabilities. The mining operation continued under alien supervision, with humans extracting valuable minerals while providing daily entertainment through their weapons training sessions. The Zephyrians encouraged this arrangement since it allowed them to study primitive human technology While enjoying ongoing comedy that surpassed their best entertainment programming, Dr. Rodriguez discovered that quantum crystals responded differently to various plasma frequencies and energy intensities. But he kept this information secret while appearing to struggle with basic scientific analysis. His mapping of crystal sensitivity, patterns throughout the asteroid field would be essential for triggering the resonance effects they were building toward. Vera Santos gathered intelligence about alien ship capabilities by playing the confused tactical officer who needed help understanding superior Zephyrian technology. The aliens enjoyed explaining their advanced weapons systems and defensive measures to primitive humans who posed no conceivable threat to their military superiority. The daily shooting demonstrations became so popular that alien crews established viewing schedules to ensure everyone could watch the entertainment while maintaining their regular duties. They treated the humans like performing animals who could be counted on to provide consistent amusement through their remarkable inability to master basic weapons operation. Jake received coded reports from other human colonies throughout the sector about similar alien encounters where Zephyrian forces had established observation posts to study primitive human activities. The pattern suggested that their deception might be working on a much larger scale if they could maintain the performance long enough to complete their preparations. The energy accumulation in quantum crystal networks grew stronger with each passing day, as more plasma shots missed their apparent targets, but struck mineral formations with mathematical precision. The effect created resonance patterns that would eventually allow manipulation of gravitational fields across the entire asteroid belt. Captain Nexitar began planning special demonstration events where humans would attempt to hit multiple targets in sequence for the entertainment of visiting alien dignitaries. He wanted to create the ultimate showcase of human military incompetence, but had no idea that he was actually helping to coordinate the final phase of the most sophisticated deception in galactic history. The quantum crystal network exploded into synchronized brilliance as energy accumulated over months discharged through carefully planned resonance patterns across the entire asteroid field. Admiral Kethfor watched his tactical displays transform, from routine readings into impossible data, showing gravitational anomalies forming around every ship in his fleet, while space itself bent according to human calculations that defied Zephyrian understanding of physics. Lisa Carter monitored the energy release from her engineering station, as quantum crystals converted stored plasma shots into controlled gravitational fields, with precision that amazed even her, after months of theoretical preparation. The asteroid field had become the largest weapon ever created, using nothing but patience and apparent incompetence to mask scientific brilliance. Every Zephyrian ship found itself trapped in separate gravitational wells that appeared exactly where Dr. Sam Rodriguez had predicted, based on his secret analysis of quantum crystal properties and three-dimensional energy distribution patterns. The alien vessels could not move while their engines strained against forces that seemed to emerge from empty space around them. Captain Nextar struggled to comprehend how primitive human technology could generate such advanced gravitational effects. His science officers reported sensor readings that violated every known law of physics, while their most powerful engines failed to break free from invisible forces holding them in predetermined positions throughout the asteroid field. Jake Morrison opened communication channels to address the trapped alien fleet, while maintaining the calm voice of someone who had planned every detail of this moment for months. His words carried across space to reach commanders who had spent weeks laughing at human military incompetence, without realizing they were witnessing the setup for the most sophisticated operation in galactic history. The human captain explained, with quiet satisfaction, that their demonstration had never involved shooting at asteroids. Every missed shot had been precisely aimed at quantum crystal formations to charge them with energy for creating the gravitational matrix that now held the entire alien fleet. The real target had always been the Zephyrian ships themselves. Dr. Rodriguez transmitted his complete analysis to alien science officers so they could understand exactly what had happened to their supposedly superior technology. The quantum crystals scattered throughout the asteroid field had absorbed energy, from hundreds of plasma cannon shots while remaining invisible, to advanced alien sensors that had failed to detect the most obvious threat. The alien crews realized with growing horror that human marksmanship had been mathematically perfect from the very beginning. Every shot that appeared to miss by impossible distances had actually struck intended targets with precision that required understanding of physics far beyond anything the aliens possessed. Despite their technological advantages, Admiral Kethavor demanded explanations for how humans had developed such advanced capabilities, without any alien species detecting their true scientific knowledge. Jake replied that humanity's greatest strength was not superior weapons or faster ships but the ability to think strategically over long periods, while making enemies underestimate their intelligence. The gravitational fields holding the Zephyrian fleet were completely stable and could be maintained for years according to Lisa's engineering calculations. The quantum crystal network contained enough stored energy to keep alien ships trapped indefinitely while human vessels moved freely through space that had been transformed into a three-dimensional prison. Vera Santos coordinated with human ships throughout the sector as they emerged from concealment to take control of strategic positions around the asteroid field. The aliens had been so focused on entertainment that they completely missed the careful deployment of human vessels that had been disguised as routine mining operations. Broadcasting networks throughout Zephyrian space continued transmitting live footage, but now showed advanced alien warships trapped by primitive humans who had turned apparent weakness into devastating strength. The entertainment had become a lesson about the dangers of underestimating species considered inferior and amusing by advanced civilizations. Helen Wright opened communication channels to other alien species throughout the galaxy to broadcast complete records of the operation, including mathematical calculations that made it possible. The message was clear that humanity would defend itself against any threat regardless of technological differences or superior firepower. Danny Brooks and Pete Collins revealed the true nature of their weapons demonstrations by explaining how each missed shot had been calculated to hit specific quantum crystals at precise angles and energy levels. Their apparent incompetence had required skills far beyond anything alien observers possessed while maintaining perfect performances over months. The trapped alien commanders began understanding that they had witnessed not primitive technology, but advanced physics applied in ways their own scientists never imagined possible. Humans had used quantum mechanics and gravitational theory to weaponize an entire asteroid field while making it appear to be nothing more than failed target practice. Ben Parker coordinated security operations throughout the human fleet as they established complete control over the situation. Months of appearing confused and incompetent had actually been intensive preparation for demonstrating true human capabilities to a galaxy that had dismissed them as primitive and harmless. Ryan Kim's orbital mechanics proved perfectly accurate, as gravitational fields moved alien ships into more secure positions without damaging their vessels. The humans wanted to demonstrate power without unnecessary destruction, because their goal was earning respect rather than creating fear through violence. Admiral Kethavor realized that his empire's understanding of primitive species would require complete revision after witnessing capabilities that challenged everything they believed about technological development and military strategy. The humans had proven that advancement could not be measured only through weapons and ships. The quantum crystal network continued functioning exactly as Dr. Rodriguez had designed, with energy flowing through resonance patterns that maintained stable gravitational effects around each alien vessel. The scientific breakthrough would revolutionize space warfare if other species could understand and duplicate the mathematical principles involved. Jake Morrison offered to negotiate release of the alien fleet in exchange for recognition of human territorial rights and agreements to end interference with human colonies throughout the sector. The terms were reasonable because humanity wanted peaceful coexistence rather than domination through superior force. Other alien species throughout the galaxy received broadcast footage and began reconsidering their own assumptions about human capabilities. The primitive miners who could barely hit stationary targets had revealed themselves as strategic thinkers, capable of operations that spanned months while involving physics beyond most civilizations' comprehension. The entertainment that had attracted observers from across known space became a lesson about dangers of judging any species based on initial impressions or apparent technological limitations. Humans had allowed themselves to be mocked, while secretly preparing something that would change power balances throughout the sector. Lisa Carter began gradually reducing gravitational fields around alien ships, while maintaining enough control to ensure compliance with human demands. The quantum crystal network could be adjusted precisely to release vessels individually or maintain complete containment depending on how negotiations proceeded with different species. The asteroid field that had provided weeks of entertainment was now recognized as the site of the most significant military demonstration in galactic history. Humans had proven that apparent weakness could mask devastating strength, and that patience, combined with intelligence, could overcome any technological advantage. Captain Nextar transmitted formal surrender to Jake Morrison, while acknowledging that the Zephyrian Empire had completely misjudged human capabilities. The admission was broadcast throughout alien space as proof that even the most advanced civilizations could be outmaneuvered by species they considered primitive. The final message transmitted across the galaxy was simple, but effective in changing how aliens viewed humanity. The best way to hit your target was sometimes letting enemies think you were aiming somewhere else entirely, while the real target was their assumptions about your capabilities. 3 weeks into the alien occupation of their mining area, the Zephyrian fleet had grown to 21 ships as word spread across the galaxy about the most entertaining primitive species ever discovered. Admiral Kethvor felt proud that his discovery had become famous throughout multiple star systems, while alien commanders from distant regions traveled vast distances to witness human incompetence firsthand. The asteroid field buzzed with constant activity as new ships arrived daily to observe the legendary shooting demonstrations that had become the most popular entertainment in known space. Captain Nextar established regular schedules for human weapons practice with morning and afternoon sessions broadcast live across alien communication networks to audiences numbering in the billions. Dr. Sam Rodriguez made his most important breakthrough while analyzing quantum crystal samples in his laboratory aboard the Horizon. The mineral formations scattered throughout the asteroid belt contained properties unlike anything in human scientific databases and seemed to respond to specific energy frequencies in ways that defied conventional physics understanding. The crystals could absorb plasma energy and store it indefinitely while creating resonance patterns that connected individual formations across vast distances. When enough energy accumulated in the network, the crystals could potentially generate gravitational effects powerful enough to influence the movement of massive objects like starships through controlled space-time manipulation. Lisa Carter received this information through coded technical discussions that appeared to be routine conversations about mining equipment and sample analysis procedures. Her engineering computers began processing complex mathematical models that showed how the quantum crystal network could be weaponized if sufficient energy was accumulated in the correct three-dimensional patterns. The calculations were staggering in their complexity, but Lisa realized they could transform the entire asteroid field into a coordinated system capable of generating artificial gravitational wells at predetermined locations throughout the space occupied by the watching alien fleet. The mathematics required perfect timing and precise energy distribution, but the theory was sound. Ryan Kim updated his navigation databases with detailed orbital mechanics information that seemed to involve routine course plotting for mining operations, but actually included gravitational field mapping for every significant mass within the asteroid belt. His work would be crucial for predicting exactly where alien ships would be positioned when the time came to activate their hidden weapon. The Zephyrian betting pools had evolved into sophisticated gambling operations, with crews wagering not just on human marksmanship failures, but on psychological theories about why the primitive species seemed incapable of learning from their mistakes. Some aliens suggested that humans might have evolved specifically to avoid violence, while others wondered if they lacked basic spatial reasoning abilities. Helen Wright maintained her communication network with human vessels throughout the sector, while carefully monitoring alien transmissions for intelligence about fleet movements and tactical capabilities. Her coded status reports actually coordinated the gradual repositioning of human ships into strategic locations around the asteroid field that would be essential for the final phase of their operation. The quantum crystal resonance effect continued, building power steadily as Danny Brooks and Pete Collins perfected their performances as incompetent gunners whose accuracy decreased rather than improved with practice. Each missed shot struck quantum crystals with mathematical precision, while appearing to demonstrate complete failure of human weapons training. The energy accumulation was invisible to alien sensors despite their advanced technology, because the crystals stored power in ways that human science barely understood but could potentially harness. Lisa detected the phenomenon through subtle changes in background electromagnetic radiation that registered as minor fluctuations in mining equipment readings. Ben Parker organized increasingly elaborate security drills that looked like desperate attempts to improve human military coordination through better training procedures and communication protocols. His exercises involved precise timing between crew members and careful positioning that appeared to be standard military practice, but actually served as rehearsal for something unprecedented. The alien entertainment industry had made human shooting demonstrations into the most popular programming across multiple civilizations, with families gathering regularly to watch new episodes of spectacular marksmanship failure. The footage was analyzed by military academies as examples of how primitive species approached warfare without understanding basic tactical principles. Dr. Rodriguez completed his detailed mapping of quantum crystal sensitivity patterns throughout the asteroid field while maintaining his cover as a confused human scientist struggling with basic analysis procedures. The information revealed exactly which crystals would respond to specific plasma frequencies and energy intensities when the time came to trigger the network. Representatives from 12 different alien species had arrived to study the phenomenon of human military incompetence, including xenobiologists who wanted to understand how such an unwarlike species had managed to develop interstellar travel capabilities. The asteroid field had become an unofficial research station for studying primitive civilizations. Vera Santos continued gathering intelligence about alien ship specifications and defensive capabilities by playing the confused tactical officer who needed help understanding superior technology. The Zephyrians enjoyed explaining their advanced systems to primitive humans while revealing detailed information about weapons ranges and shield frequencies that would prove valuable later. The daily shooting sessions had become elaborate productions, with alien crews competing for the best viewing positions while recording equipment captured every spectacular miss for broadcast across their empires. Some Zephyrian officers brought specialized sensors to measure exactly how far human shots deviated from their intended targets. Jake Morrison received regular coded updates from other human colonies throughout the sector, confirming that similar deceptions were being maintained across multiple star systems. The Zephyrians had established observation posts around several human settlements to study primitive activities while remaining completely unaware of the coordinated preparation taking place. The energy levels in the quantum crystal network were approaching critical thresholds for creating large-scale gravitational effects according to Lisa's calculations. The accumulated power from months of carefully aimed missed shots was now sufficient to generate artificial gravity wells capable of trapping entire fleets if properly triggered and directed. Ryan Kim completed his orbital predictions showing exactly where each alien ship would be positioned during their next scheduled entertainment session. The Zephyrian fleet had fallen into completely predictable patterns while arranging themselves for optimal viewing of human incompetence without considering the tactical implications of their formations. The quantum crystals throughout the asteroid field glowed with stored energy that was invisible to alien sensors, but detectable through specialized human equipment that appeared to be routine mining analysis tools. The network was charged and ready to demonstrate that human marksmanship had been perfect from the very beginning. Captain Nextar announced plans for the ultimate demonstration where humans would attempt to hit 5 targets in sequence as their final display before acknowledging Zephyrian superiority. He wanted to create the most spectacular showcase of primitive failure for visiting dignitaries, but had no idea that he was actually coordinating the moment when humanity would reveal its true capabilities to the galaxy.